Can you hear me? Can you hear me on the show? Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Wednesday Call Live. Filmed in beautiful Treasure Island, Florida. Now let's hear it for our host, our president and CEO, Andy Albright.
Oh gosh, crazy. Love y'all, fired up, exciting about what's going on in the Alliance. I have some leaderboards, some interesting information to share with you. I want to talk to you about tell it like it is. And what I'm getting to on that is how do you explain to people the truth and be honest with them so that you can sincerely help them. So telling it like it is. No fluff, no buff. How do you help people kick the can down the road? How do you help people progress? How do you tell them like it is where the can is? How do you tell them where the curve's in the road? How do you tell them about their kicking motion? How do you help people kick the can down the road? How do they grow their business, increase their financial position, and provide a legacy for your children? That's what I'm talking about today. So before we get into that, I have some leaderboards to cover. You can see it. Me and Tia practiced, and I think they're in front of you as they're in front of me. On submit, Mark Hutchinson submitted so far this week, or I should say this is complete. So his week submit, and it will be last week, he submitted $23,000. Before we get into that, I have some leaderboards. Had a little feedback. Not now. Okay. Mark Hutchinson submitted 13 applications for $23,000 in premium. Gary Philstein submitted 13 applications for $15,000 in premium. And James and Jane Hill submitted 14 applications for $14,000. Massive weeks. Congratulations to you three. Issue paid is where the rubber meets the road. This week, number 12 in the company, Terry Edwards, issued 5 apps for $8,000 in premium. Marty and Diana Doge issued 6 apps for $8,300. Congratulations. Heck of a week, Marty. Diana Castile. When she first came to us, we used to call her the Cracker Barrel lady because she was an executive manager with Cracker Barrel. She issued 13 apps for $8,000. Justin Balick in Sydney issued 11 apps for $8,600. Moving up to $9,000, Robert Wilson issued 11 apps for $9,000. Mark Hutchinson issued 6. Oh, wait a minute. I skipped Brian Rojas. Let me go back to Brian. Brian Rojas issued 12 apps for $9,600. Mark Hutchinson issued $9,700 for 6 apps. Way to go, Mark. Big. I always think about what people used to do. Mark was an incredible referee. He's a basketball referee, big-time college referee. Jake and Beret Joseph issued 12 apps for $10,152. Congratulations, Jake and Beret. Mia Fennell Stone, get this, 14 applications for $10,200. Congratulations, Mia Fennell. Paul Van Thal, 9 apps for $10,200. Woo! Way to go, Paul. I know Rachel's fired up about you. Megan Wood issued 28 applications for $11,500. And number one in the United States of America with 12 applications and $16,000 of premium, Paul Menachino. Woohoo! Paul Menachino, 16,000, 12 apps. Way to go. Let's look at annuity production. We don't do submit just because the way people submit, we don't really know what you submitted, but we had top five issue paid. John and Carolyn Davis, wow, $90,000 annuity issue. Congratulations, John and Carolyn. John and Carolyn. Mark Hutchinson, you heard him on the life business, and he got a $165,000 annuity issue. Woo! Menachino, you heard him on the life business, and he had a $200,000 annuity issue. God, what a week. Gil Stutling Flores out of Texas, $250,000, 2 policies issued. $250,000, 2 policies issued. Lou Abadi, $500,000. Lou Abadi. Way to go, man. Congratulations on that big annuity. Top Foresters production in the country, Joe Dukes, 4 apps. Paul Van Thal, 6 apps. And Mark Hutchinson, 5 apps. Anywhere from $5,000 with Joe Dukes up to $8,000, all with Foresters. And people ask, why do we do Foresters? Foresters is the one that pays all these. They are always throwing bonuses, trips to Canada, cash bonus. They're always throwing extra incentives at us and showing it love. So that's why we always push them. There's a lot of other things we're really close to them, but Foresters are really tight with. And so that's really where we feature. Okay, top 10 recruiters. Julie Busby, a newcomer to the top 10, 3 recruits direct to Julie. Megan Wood, always leading on the leaderboard. Now she's on the top 10 for recruiting. Way to go, Megan. Mike and Noel Leventovich are coaching her. Great job, Mike and Noel. Julie Busby, that's part of the Carry organization. Olga and Jason Mathis. Jason, he's still popping them on the leaderboard with 4 direct recruits. Mr. Riddle, 4 direct to him, number 7 in the country. Jake Krause and Belle Krause, 4 direct to them, number 6 in the country. Actually, both of them are tied for 6, Riddle and Krause's. Brandon Beal, smoking, number 5 in the country with 5 direct recruits. Mike and Noel Leventovich, coaching Megan, they put in 6 direct recruits. Alex Abian, 6 direct recruits. And by the way, Alex hired Mike, so that's tight, take 2 studs back to back. Paul Roberts figured out a way to put in 8 contracted agents in WIT this week. And number 1, Kyle and Janina Wilson. Woo! 9 direct contracts this week. Way to go, guys. Proud of y'all. So I am going to briefly, there's leaderboards posted. Until you can bring those up. There's leaderboards posted on the ARC. Y'all can take your time and look at them in detail. I just want to point out a couple of quick things before we get into the lessons on the Tell It Like It Is. Okay, so the first one is the Double Dare bonus. You get paid $1,000, have 30,000 issue paid, and there's a minimum app count. I think it's 15. And then annuities, anything over 500,000, you get a $1,000 bonus. So you actually have an opportunity for 1,000 plus 1,000, and then we will, if you get both, we'll pop you a $500 bonus. So an opportunity to win 2,500, not just 1,000. It used to be an opportunity just to win 1,000. Now it's an opportunity to win 2,500 out there for you. Lou Abadi is so close on he's won it on the annuity with $540,000 issued. So he's got a $1,000 bonus. I was asked, his life production is not that high for this month. And I was texting him, I was like, remind me. And I just pray for him. He's dealt with some serious health family issues, not his health, but his family's had some serious health issues that he has had to take some time to deal with, but still managed to get those annuities issue paid and still managed. I think he's up to like 2,500 on the life side. Number 2, James and Jane Hill were so close. Paul Menachino is so close on both sides. Paul has an opportunity to win on the annuity side and the life side. And Mark Hutchinson is smoking on both sides. Megan Wood, real close on the life side. and you can check them out. So that leaderboard is posted. Foresters, and I should announce this. I'm not sure if this has went out publicly, but Nassau Re, that used to be Phoenix, okay, that insurance company, we do annuities with them and life insurance. They have made a corporate decision that they don't want to sell life insurance anymore, and that's their right. If they don't want to sell anymore, they're going to stop doing it. So those of you that were writing with Nassau, you're going to have to put, you have a client, Nassau is not going to be an option. And I'm talking about like immediately, like June, like boom, they're going to stop. You're going to have to put that business with another carrier. I would suggest that you find a way to put it with Foresters. I have talked to the executives there, and they're working on the issue rates. Even if you go fully underwritten, they're going to work with us trying to issue more business, even on the fully underwritten side, to make up for our loss with Nassau and Phoenix. And they're not, this is everybody. Nobody's going to be allowed to sell with them in the country. And they've got financial reasons that they just want to get out of the business. It's just, they got a direction that they're picking. And the CEO, I know the CEO, he says, I'm just not doing it. And I was like, all right, we were really loving y'all and hopeful. So we're going to keep selling annuities with them. I would hope it goes with the Foresters, and that would bump your chance of getting cash money. Right now, Adam Johnson's on track to win $5,000. Here's the most interesting to me is Stephanie Rodriguez is a rookie, and she's beat everybody in the country but 5 people. So she would take the rookie bonus of $3,000, and then she would take the veteran bonus of $1,200. So she's on track to win $4,200. And I'm sure she's going to try to beat Junior and Mia and Banthoff and try to get that whole $5,000 bonus plus her $3,000 bonus with Forrester. And then we got a lot of rookies on here that are on track to win cash. Congratulations. There's 50 of you that are on. There's 25 of you that are on track to win cash, rookies for Forrester's production. And then Tim Sipe, if you scroll all the way down, scroll it down a little bit. Tim Sipe is so close. He's just got to beat the lowest veteran on there to win, and they would win $250 just by beating out James and Pam Alara. Yes, scroll back up. See, he's got to beat James and Paul Alara. If he could beat them at $8,600, and he is at Sipe is at $8,595. So tight race for that money. All right, let's look at the other contests going. Thailand, we have 10 couples have won an all expense paid trip to Thailand together. A lot of people are close. Managers won. There's a West Coast recruiting contest going on. Jason and Tawny Carey are leading on the West Coast as far as recruiting. Jake and Belle Krause are number 2, and Brandon and Ashley Beal are number 3. And that's a jet ride opportunity into family reunion. And then there's a Texas contest where the jet will stop and pick up a couple in Texas. Right now, it's Paul Roberts, Diane Lampy's close, and Angela Manzo is close. Manzo's California, my bad. So Texas people are Kelly Haney, Diane Lampy, and Paul Roberts, but Paul's the one taking the 2 seats right now. Let's go on to the F&G contest. The F&G contest, the winners will be spending time down here in St. Petersburg. And as a matter of fact, everybody is going to be invited, or a lot of people are going to be invited to that training at the Don Cesar in St. Petersburg, Florida. But then the winners will be invited over to our house, and Jane has volunteered, and Miss Hostess with the mostest to entertain you over at our house, the winners, because you're so close and you're already down here. And last night I tested a bonfire. We have a fire pit, and I lit it up last night for the first time. So I'm sure we will have that lit. It's just beautiful out there. Look forward to entertaining you guys down here that win that contest. And there's a lot of people right on the verge there, rookies, that people that I haven't met, veterans that are writing F&G. And the Rolex contest. Let's go down to the Rolex contest. Wow. 13 people are going to get a Rolex. And right now, you can look at it. It's on the arc. You can look at it, who's on track and who's so close to winning a Rolex. Wow. It's going to be fun. These are Rolexes manufactured the year the company started in 2002. So I look forward to seeing it. And then there's another recruiting contest, and there's a power of 10. There's managers that helped a person get their first 10 issued. And then there's different people that got their first 10 issued. Congratulations on the power of 10. There's more leaderboards, tons of information. All of this is posted on ARC. So let's go with that. All right, thank you, Tia. You can pull down the leaderboards. I'm going to pull up my slides. And as you show them, I can talk through them about what I want to teach, what I want you to learn. Okay. Woohoo! I'm looking for coffee, and I'm down here by myself. So, Stepaka, would you give me just a black cup of coffee? Makes me feel better. Thank you. Tell it like it is. Let's go to slide 2. All right. This is huge right here. If you're speaking to a person, thank you so much. If you're speaking to a person and you want them, if you want to help them kick the can down the road, telling it like it is, what you mean to do or what your intention means everything. So if you're trying to put a person down, telling them like it is not going to help. If you're trying to make yourself feel better, telling it like it is not going to help. If you want them to improve because you care about them, then telling it like it is awesome. This says telling it like it is, the intention is the biggest difference. Being direct with news no one wants to hear, but needs to hear it, is accepted by most if they know genuinely you care. So I should be able to tell you the most. I should be able to tell you like it is if you get that my intentions are clear and for your advantage. So it's okay to me be direct if you genuinely know I care about you. So Andy Riddle, if you're talking to somebody like Mia Fennell and she knows your intentions are good, then it's way better and way okay to be simple and direct and tell it like it is. If you're trying to get an advantage over somebody, not a good idea telling it like it is. If you're trying to put them in, it's your intention means everything. You've heard us say this, you matter, your intentions matter. What are you intending when you tell a person like it is? There's a formula for this. Let's move down. I got a couple quotes about it. This is a quote from Jeff Bright. It says, if you tell someone like it is, it's not complicated. Just tell the people you love that you love them and tell them the truth whenever possible. The only comment I had with him is, when is it possible? So it's possible when a person knows your intentions. It's possible when the person is willing to accept you telling it like it is. It's not possible if they're closed-minded. It's not possible if they won't listen. It's not. So telling it like it is need to be simple and clear and direct whenever possible, and make sure they know that you love them. The moral, the promotion of a person's welfare, in other words, the helping someone's position in life, sometimes requires tough love, but tough love requires credibility. So if you don't trust me, if you don't believe in me, if I've not walked the walk, if I've not done what I'm supposed to do, then it's a big problem with me telling you like it is. Even if my intention is right and I haven't done what I'm supposed to do, if I've not done what I'm supposed to do, and I haven't walked the walk, and I haven't been there for you, then I lose that right to tell a person like it is. Okay? Track record, tough love. Hey, here's the only thing that's tough. I say this, preachers aren't perfect, but they preach. So you don't have to be perfect to preach. You don't have to be perfect to tell it like it is, but you do have to be trying to be a good person, trying to do the right thing in order to tell it like it is. I got to get my cell phone too, because Jeff is walk me through this. I want to make sure if I've done anything crazy, he's going to text me and tell me that I'm off base. Intention to help is better than intention to hurt. Yeah, I'd say so. Thank you, Jeff. Intention to help is better than intention to hurt. By the way, leaderboards are on band also, but everybody should have an arc and should be able to go to it. All right. I think everybody can see me. A couple people said no video. Okay. I don't know if there's anything we can check on that. Yeah, I know it's streaming on YouTube, so y'all would text Amber or Tia, text Tia. We could try to help you get through it. All right. The promotions of a person's welfare requires tough love sometimes, but you got to have credibility. Let's go to slide 4. Okay, slide 4. This is the formula for telling it like it is. This is the formula for frank talk. There's a book called, on frank talk. I'm trying to remember the book, but you need to read that book. It gets in depth to this. On the other hand, I'm shortcutting it for you. The formula to tell it like it is. And here's the formula. Make it clear, make it clean, make it calm. I'm going to walk you through this formula, but if you can make it clear, make it clean, and make it calm, you can be frank with people. You can be more straightforward. Fierce Conversations. That's the name of the book. Fierce Conversations. You can have better, fierce conversations if you're clear, clean, and calm. It's called feedback. That's what people need is feedback. It's specific criteria which must be followed when you're telling it like it is. And basically, it needs to be accepted. It needs to be accepted by the recipient, and it needs to be actionable by the recipient. It needs to be accepted and actionable. Your job is to get the frank talk, the fierce conversation, to get it accepted and to make it actionable where they can do something. And so if you can get it accepted and actionable, clear, clean, and calm. There's your formula. Clear, clean, and calm, actionable, and accepted, understood. Okay, so let's go number 4. And that is slide 4. Let's go to slide 5. By the way, people don't like criticism, but they do like frank talk. And there's a fine line between that you're walking, but you've got to walk that fine line. Okay, let's go to slide 5. Make it clear. Okay. The single biggest problem in communication is the illusion that it's taken place. That's George Bernard Shaw. And I've said this 1,000 times in my life. The scariest thing about communication is thinking it happened. I've said this. The biggest mistake in communication is thinking that it happened. That's where you go off the ledge. That's where people get hurt the most, is when they think communication happened. That's what George Bernard Shaw says here. The biggest problem is the illusion, thinking, or the illusion that it took place. The moral. The biggest cause of miscommunication is misconception, mistaken belief due to preconceived notions, and misperception is an inaccurate or incorrect awareness to the lacking of facts. Okay, so here's why communication don't happen. Either people have it's Stefanka's husband whistling. I think that's who it is. Or it's her phone. It's your phone. That's okay. I thought it was your husband whistling. Okay, sorry about that. Something going on here all the time. Okay, misconception or misperception. misconception or misperception. And you've heard me talk about coaching younger people because they don't have preconceived notions about stuff. So you can talk to them easier. It's tougher the older a person gets because they have more preconceived notions. So if they have preconceived notions, it's hard to talk to them. The other thing that can happen is if they have a misperception, meaning you try to tell them 2 + 2 is 4, and they think that you mean something else. Has nothing to do with their previous notions about life. It's just they don't perceive the data that you give them. So it's either preconceived notions or perspective, misperspection. The perspection, they don't understand the facts and the figures. Okay. So misconception is when a person's mind's made up. It's a misconception. Their mind's made up. Okay. Misperception is when they don't get the facts right. They think I said this when I said that. So either as a misconception or a misperspective. Misconception is old views get in the way. And misperspective is when new views are not processed correctly. So you got to be careful of both of those things. Okay, let's go to number 6. Making it clear. These are ways to make it clear, because remember, we want to eliminate misconception, and we want to eliminate misperspection. So number 1, let's make it clear. All right. Remember, this is clear, clean, and calm. So let's go over clear. Clear is slide number 6. Okay. All right. And I got a big tip for everybody here on this one. Make it clear. Straightforwardness is a trait that I've always admired in people. Being direct is the prerequisite for achieving clarity in any conversation. Direct tellers, people that tell it direct, take less time and fewer words to get to the point. So keep your words short and sweet. Avoid trying to over-explain your reason for saying nope, or appearing overly apologetic for giving constructive feedback. So if I say to you, I need for you to do this, and we'll keep it short and sweet. I'm not being apologetic, and I'm trying to be very clear. So being clear does not need to sound blunt. Like, for example, you got this yet? That is bad when you say that. People say, what about, are you tracking? If I said, are you tracking? Are you tracking with me? That is, are you going along with me? Have you got it yet? Sounds like you're saying you missed it, you missed it, you missed it, you missed it. Have you got it yet? That is like blunt. That is not nice. I know it sounds simple and clear and calm, but it's not nice. Being direct can be super nice. Saying, you tracking? Is asking me, are you coming along with me? Am I making sense? Am I perceiving it to you good enough? All right, so I got a constructive point that I would like for everybody to improve on. Okay. At the end of the show the plan, we have different people talk. So Adam Katz will show the plan, and he'll have Mia, or he'll have Beth, or he'll have Chris Long, or he'll have Menachino speak. And he'll say, I've showed the plan. Tell the people your experience with the Alliance. And I've had people come on and they say things that are very not clear, and they're tangling, they're rambling. And I like people to speak clear. So it might sound like this. I used to work at a grocery store. I stacked all the fruit and vegetables. I ran the cashier, and I checked people out, and I managed people, and I gave promotions. I ran a grocery store before this business. I had no sales experience. When I got involved, a gentleman in this business taught me to sell, and now I'm making $400,000 in this business every year, and I love it. And I go on free trips. Like, for example, we're going to Thailand this year. Like, I went to England. Like, I went to the Greek Isles, Santorini and Mykonos and other islands. Y'all see how simple and clear it is? I hear people say things like, I used to be a banana peeler. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, what did you do? And they say, well, at my company, I would just sit at my desk and I always brought a snack in, and it was a banana. I'm like, dude, what do you mean? They go like, it was a boring job. So all I did was eat bananas. I'm like, what are you talking about? So they try to be cute, and they say things like, I was a race car driver. And I was like, you was a race car driver? I thought you was at Domino's. Well, yeah, I was at Domino's, and I would run real fast delivering pizza, and I was a race car driver. And I'm like, dude, don't confuse people. Tell people I was a Domino's delivery person, and I would drive really fast to get people their pizza so that I could get a bunch of tips in a day. And I was making $40,000 because I made good tips. But now I'm here, and I learned how to sell, and I learned how to make phone calls, and they taught me everything I need to know, even though it was strange to me. It was very difficult in the beginning, but now I'm making six figures. So simple and so this is what I call, I'm trying to tell you plain how you should speak after the meetings. It moves up the credibility of the company and you, and people like that simple, clear talk. So that's my coaching tip mixed in with the way that people do this. Okay, make it clear, make it simple, and okay. So let's move on. I hope that was clearer than mud. Are you tracking with me? Are you working with me on keeping it clear and keep it clean? All right, number 7, keep it clear. All right, so what was the other one? The other one was keep it clean, keep it clear. Oh, it's more on clear. More on keeping it clear. 3 things to help keep it clear. We need to be clear with our conversations to avoid vagueness. Vagueness drives people crazy. Clarity is interesting. Okay, to accomplish this objective, you must learn to convey clarity, conciseness, and precision at the same time. Clear, concise, and clear, precise, and concise. Yeah, clarity, conciseness, and precision. Let me check sure Jeff ain't lighting me up. He's just telling me great job. Constructive feedback is better than criticism. Constructive feedback is way better than criticism. Okay. Here's Conversations. It's the name of the book. Thank you, guys. The name of the author would probably be good for some people. Y'all post it on band. Okay. Let's talk about clarity. Make sense. Don't be fuzzy. Here's another thing people say that's fuzzy. I made about $120K, or I made about $1.25. And I'm thinking, did you make $1.25, or did you make? Tell me what you mean by $1.25? You could say, at my previous career, I made $125,000 a year salary with no bonuses. See how clear and precise that is? And now with this company, the first year, I made $126,000 my first 12 months. Plus, I got an all expense paid trip to Canada. See how clear, precise, precision, boom. All right. Conciseness, be brief, don't take too long. Being brief and help remember the call to action. So I think that if you come on board with the Alliance, you can be successful too fast. See how simple that is if you follow the instructions. So call to action, precision. Be exact, not approximate. Say, I used to make about $125. How about say I made $125,500 my last year on my last career? Why not be precise? It adds credibility what you're thinking or what you're saying, and it adds credibility to the speaker, and it's more exciting when you're precise. Okay, so let's go back to that. So if I'm giving you feedback, I need for you to tell me. If I say, how many how many telephone calls do you make? You say, I don't know, upwards of 100. Y'all know how many numbers are upwards of 100? 1,700,000 is upwards of 100. Well, be between 100 and 200. Can't you just tell me I made 176 bucks? This more precise and clear. And then I can say something to you like you really, really, really need to make at least 800 phone calls a week. Really, you need to in the beginning. The more clear, concise, and precise we can be with each other, the faster we're going to move, and the more money we're going to make, the more power we're going to create, the more momentum we're going to create. Okay, let me make sure. I feel good about it. Let me make sure. Slide 7. Yep, I'm good. Let's go next one. All right, so clear and clean. Now we're getting into the clean part. You shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you mad. Everybody knows you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. Well, this is, and the truth shall make you mad. A lot of times it does. The moral. Shaking off a little bit of mad, but knowing the truth is better than shaking off happy and later on finding out you've been lied to. People don't like that. People like for you to tell them the truth, but they want it in a clear, concise format, and they want to know you care. They don't want you to blow. We call that, in my world, we call that blowing smoke up their butt or just false praise when it's not even true. And sometimes people do it. They give false praise and don't even realize they're doing it. People don't like that. They want the truth, nicely put, and they want to be helped. And but you can throw that in a lot of compliments too. But you don't need to do too many compliments when you're telling it like it is and you're trying to get them to work on one subject. You're trying to give them feedback on one subject. Okay, let's move to slide 9. More of making it clean. Okay. Almost like I'd ask you if you raise your hand. Would you rather hear the truth and be mad than be lied to? And later on find out you're happy, and later on you find out they lied? Not good. Not good. Okay, make it clean. When I reflect on the best relationship I have or had, personal and professional, the ones I value the most are the ones that are candid. Because if I have feedback, I want to hear it. So Adam Katz is one of my strongest relationships. John Roberts is an outside consultant that I tremendously value his relationship. I got a lot of people that tell me like it is. A lot. And I like them the most. Now, they palate it. So they don't come at me screaming like criticism. They just say, hey, can I share something with you? We're on to the next slide, on slide 9. You can slide that up. Whoever's sliding. Tia. Okay. That's the relationship comment is right there. Candid relationships. But rarely do we get that feedback. Most people are afraid to give feedback because we fear sounding crass and we fear sounding disrespectful. And we're taught if we don't like something, if we can't say something nice, don't say anything at all. But I value the relationships that will come out and tell me like it is and talk it out and tell me stuff clear. Okay. Candor doesn't need to sound criticizing. Like, for example, you big dummy, or you stupid, Andy. It needs to be candor. If I'm telling you, or if you're telling your downline, if you're telling crossline, hey, man, I ain't trying to be mean or stuff, but you need to take some Tic Tacs. Your breath's bad. I don't know if it's because you drive over here, you're eating beef jerky or something, but something smell, bro. I love you. I love you, bro. I ain't trying to be mean, but here's Tic Tac, man. Just clear. All right. Candor, candid, clean. Candor, candid, clean. Instead of saying you big dummy, you could say this. I get where you're coming from. I see why you think it's that way. I see why you think it's that way. Let me talk to you about a different perspective. If you would consider that you might be wrong on this one, I can show you another way. But if you say you big dummy, what's that, Fred Sanford? You big dummy. Now you can't be candid in candor afterwards. That's not the same thing. You're not being rude to anybody. All right. Make it clean, continue. Let's move to make it clean, continued. Next one. There we go. When you're the person who tells it like it is, the right way, people respect you for your honesty when you tell them the right way. Here's some tips to becoming clean with your delivery. Okay, first of all, you know what we're trying to do. So decide ahead of time what's the outcome and what are we aiming for? Like what do you want to accomplish? And let's keep it clean. Let's don't go off in all kinds of directions when we're trying to keep it clean. Be upfront with your objectives. This transparency will diffuse much of the emotion and defensiveness. So the more transparent you are with people, it'll diffuse their defensiveness. We go, look, I'm looking at your numbers. Hey, I'm looking at your clothing. I'm looking at the way you're standing. I'm not trying to tell you anything. I'm just trying to help you understand you need to lean in. When I look at your posture, it's leaning back. See how I'm saying that real clear? I know what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get them to look more attentive. Know what you're looking for and be transparent on what you're trying to talk to them about. Also, choose neutral phrasing about the situation by saying this. I've observed this. I've noticed this. Rather than an emotional exaggeration and a personal reaction like, you always do this. You've got to stop. There's probably somebody out there going like, you've done that, Andy? I probably have. Sorry about that. You need to say things like, I've observed that this happens on occasion. Limit the number of times you say you. So say, you don't get referrals. You are not a rate annuities. You can say things like, I've noticed that some people are not doing annuities that are in homes. I want to talk to you about the situation that I've observed. So pointing to yourself more lowers the animosity and the defensiveness that people have. So neutral phrasing. Some other people don't do it. I would like for you to do it. Or other people are doing this. I think you would like the opportunity to do it. I think you'd like to learn how. I would like to teach you how to do it. All right, neutral phrasing. This is a big deal. Man, this is packed with critical, very, very critical, pivotable things that you can do to help people kick the can down the road. Okay, make it calm. What was it? Clear, clean, and calm? Making it calm. You can't calm the storm, so stop trying. What you can do is calm yourself while the storm passes. So you remaining calm, even that the other person gets upset. So if I'm telling you like it is, and you get upset, my job is to stay calm and to also direct you on how to stay calm. So I would say something like, hey, listen, I'm going to share this with you. I need for you everybody just put it outside of our body. We're going to let it calm down and let's just evaluate it for the merit, its own merit. Okay. Jeff's funny. He says, Andy, here's what you say. You say things like, don't sweat it and don't stir it. Let me see what he's got to say. He's texting me. Read all three examples. All right. The mad lets you know it's getting through. Clean gets rid of the emotions. Candor scrubs the emotion out. Okay. All right. I'll come back to some of these because he's making some good points to make sure that I'm what I like, if those of you are new and even people that exist with me, Jeff is a good, I say secular and a good translator in watching how I run the business and how I conduct myself and helping me explain to you how I do the do. And so what we want to do is make it on a silver platter where you can copy and get the same kind of results I do. So that's why he does this and really spends a lot of time telling me how to explain what I do and how I do. Remember, what do I want? How do I get it? So he's saying, what do you want? How do you get it? Look what Andy wants and look what Andy does. How does he get it? Look how Andy gets it. Okay, so one thing is don't sweat it and don't stir it. Meaning, many people bring massive problems to me and I go, hey, let it ride. There's nothing you can do. Don't sweat it. Don't stir it. Move on. Calm down. There's a line that goes too mad, too depressed, too sad, too mad. There's a too happy, too sad. There's grid lines or safety rails. And the more you can stay on the line, you don't waste time going up and down. So the more candid, clear, concise, calm I can keep you on the line, and I can keep myself on the line. I'm on the slide 11 here. You can't calm the storm, so stop trying. You can calm yourself. Everything's going to be okay. Don't sweat it. Don't stir it. Let's just work. This is the calm. Let's work through it. Everybody stay calm. Let's work through it. Okay, next slide on staying calm. To make it calm. Remaining calm during a difficult conversation is only achieved by not being baited, tricked into a reaction, which derails your focused outcome. So if I'm talking to somebody and I'm trying to tell them like it is, and they bait me by attacking me, or they bait me by going over here to a different subject, bait, they trick. My job is to stay calm and focused on what I'm trying to accomplish. Don't get baited into a psycho. Don't get baited into getting mad and overreacting. Stay calm. Stay focused. What outcome do we want? What are we trying to do? Okay? All right. This requires the teller, the person that's talking, to refrain from reacting to the assumptions. Okay? So if you bait me with these assumptions, absolutism, excusism, or blameism, I don't need to be baited. So whoever's talking, if Adam Katz is talking to Mark, Adam Katz is talking to Linda, and they start blaming something else, well, these leads, or well, my manager, or this COVID-19, what we're going to try to do is avoid absolutism, blameism, or excusism. And that's what we're trying to do, okay? So we can't be baited into any of those things. Instead, we have to focus on the positive opposite. So if they bait us over here, we got to focus them over here. So let's look at these three things that are this contradictions. Perspective, okay? If I can share with a person a perspective and I can introduce empathy to kill their desire to be right about everything. Y'all know people like that. They want to be right about everything. But if I can bring empathy to the table, so if I know that you're going to try to be right about everything, which most people do, they either want to be right, they want to blame something else, or they want to have a great excuse. So if I know that they're going to want to be right, here's what I got to bring. Empathy. Empathy is, I understand, I see your perspective, I can see how it could be twisted, I see that, I understand it, I hear you, I see where you're coming from. Anything to do with empathy can get people to quit putting a flag in the ground that they're right. I'm right, and you can't change my mind. Tell me your reasons you think you're right. And they start telling you their reasons, and you understand where they're coming from. That reduces that absolutism. Okay. The other thing, when you come at people with like it is, they're going to hit you with excuses, and you can't be baited. You have to slip over to contribution. Introduce accountability to kill the need to find a reason why not. So if I can get you thinking about what you're accountable for, how much we're counting on your contribution, if I can get you to see that you matter, if I can get you to see that you make a difference, you will get away from the excuses. So if they bait you with excusism, you got to be thinking, how do I get them to see how they matter and how their contribution is important, and they become accountable to their job? If I can get people thinking about how to be accountable, they don't think of the excuses. So if I can help people by empathy and showing them how they matter and how their contribution matters, I can get them away from the excuse-itis. The third thing that people are going to try to bait you with is blame. They're going to blame it on that, blame it on this, blame it on that, blame it on that. Okay? If the more you can get them to understand they have an obligation, so you introduce a promise to kill the decommitment and expectation. So when people are not committed, they blame something. So if you can get them over here and say, you said, I had this one young man, I said, you said when you started. So that gave him an obligation to do what he said. And now his income has almost doubled because he realizes the obligation and his commitment that he made. So now he doesn't blame. So these are 3 ways to tell it like it is without getting baited into these subjects. Because people do that. I'm right, and I know I'm right. You can't change my mind. But then you can't. They're not open to it. They also get into excuse-itis. Well, this is the reason that I can't do it. And this is the reason. This is why it won't work. And then you can't talk to them. Or they get into, let me tell you whose fault it is. Whose fault it is. Now you can't talk to them. But if we can keep them on obligation, if we can try to understand them, and if we can get them thinking about their part of the job. Okay? So it's just staying focused on the outcome and the method that derives the outcome of what we want to achieve. This is how you tell it like it is. All right, number 11 and last slide. Okay. Listen to another's perspective. Example, on why they have not taken action. Introduce the calming techniques. Okay. So if a person is hitting you, if somehow their perspective is off, they don't get it. First of all, you don't say big dummy. Second of all, do you get it yet? You got to calm them down. You got to calm them down so that they can look at the perspective of everything. Calm down. Let's look at the perspective. Here's how you do it. First of all, acknowledge their feelings and recognize the emotion. If a person's emotional, you need to see it, recognize it, acknowledge it, and talk to me about, so what happened to make you think this? Can you walk me through the process of you coming to this conclusion? Walk me through the process of coming to, you're trying to acknowledge their feelings, acknowledge their position. That usually calms people down, and it gives them a chance to tell you clearly and precisely what they need to hear. I had a lady, I hope she's still with us. She was screaming at me on a Zoom call, and my staff was running the Zoom. They muted her so that I couldn't hear what she's saying. I said, no. I want to hear what she's saying. I want to acknowledge her emotions and tell me what she's experienced, because I want to calm her down so that hopefully I can change her perspective on the whole situation. So I hope I did, and I hope she's making a lot of money with us. Now, asking questions, seek to understand their viewpoint. Example, how do you see the current situation? So there's a lot of questions you can ask, calm people down. Hey, let me ask you this. From your perspective, how did this happen? From your perspective, why are you not doing annuities? What's your reasoning? Okay. Have you ever asked about annuities? Have you read this book? So whatever it is that I'm trying to accomplish, I've got to ask questions about the subject and let the person I'm talking to answer the questions and try to keep them calm so that we can keep perspective and so that we can move on to the next step of training, the next step of business, the next career ladder, wherever they're trying to get to. Paraphrase. Paraphrase is another technique. Paraphrase the responses to establish accuracy. If a person's telling you what they think, and you think, like they're telling you what they think, and you think they think something else, we're in big trouble. You need to seek to understand what their perspective is. I'm good. Thank you so much. Water. I like coffee. Their perspective, you have to ask questions. Then you paraphrase it. Are you telling me the reason that you're not selling annuities is you don't think they're a good product? No, I'm not saying that. No, I'm not saying that. Oh, okay. Are you telling me the reason that you're not selling annuities because you don't think there are enough money in them that you can make a profit? No, I'm not saying that. What are you saying? So I'm trying to, and I give them another shot. And then when they try to tell me again, I paraphrase it back. So I try to paraphrase till I get to the point where I understand what they're saying. All right. I got a couple. Making them explain calms them down. Paraphrasing is also called listening. Okay, let's go back to slide 12. I think I can do a better job right here. Let's do a little bit more on 12. Okay. So when people are absolute, be empathetic, understand them. When they make an excuse, talk about contribution. When they blame, we talk about obligations, obligation to our God, obligation to the team, obligation to the boss, obligation to the carriers. This is you staying focused. This is how I do it. I'm listening to this is how I progress. All right, let's see what else is big here. Honoring, get people to honor obligation. That's what I try to do, is honor my obligation. Trying to keep from going down a rabbit hole. Your best quote of all time, best advice ever. He says, Jeff, is don't sweat it, don't stir it. I talk about so many things happen in my life that I could make it worse, but I call it like dog poop. Like if a dog poops and you try to run in there and clean it up, you could make it worse. One thought is to give it a little bit of break and let it dry a little bit before we try to move it. Calm down. You might be able to pick up the whole rug, take the whole rug outside. There's all kinds of things you do to avoid making stuff worse if you stay calm and think it through and not stir it so fast. Or somebody accuses you of something and you want to do something about it. Somebody puts a YouTube up about you and you want to do something about it. So you want to file a lawsuit. You want to register a complaint. I got one of my guys, like if I could get him to listen to me, I love this guy, but he will make something worse in a minute by stirring it or worrying about it. I mean, it's like if you hate Donald Trump and he's the president, okay, if you keep ranting about it, a lot of times it just makes your life worse. If you hated Obama and you ranted about it and you just wouldn't let it go, and then there's election coming up, whoever wins. Now, can we run our life? Can we pull out our coin and say, what do I want? What do I want? How do I get it? What do I want? How do I get it? And try not to sweat it and try not to stir it and try not to make it worse. Like Nassau Re is going to quit doing life insurance. What are we going to do? Well, we got to replace it. What product are we going to sell? Well, Foresters. Well, I'd like another carrier. Okay. We're working on it. Calm down. Everybody calm down. We got carriers coming. We got products coming. Everybody calm down. Well, I want it now. Me too. But I can't sweat it or stir it. I got to do what I got to do to move to the next step. Okay. By the way, just a reminder. I don't know who it is. I'm so stinking mad. It helps me get stuff done. Great comment. Oh. This is a funny one. I've used this one too. If you're riding down a motorcycle and you're freezing cold, and you say, I'm freezing cold. Well, that's bad. But keep driving. Don't pee on yourself to make yourself warm. That's sweating it and that's stirring it. Don't pee on yourself because I'll get warm. It's going to make it worse. A lot of times, the action you take is a temporary relief and makes you feel better, but then it gets worse than ever before. Stirring it can make it worse than ever before. You hear me? Don't sweat it. Don't stir it. Be careful. Get some outside advice. Calm down. Get perspective on it. Make sure you don't have a preconceived notion. So see, like, look, there's telling it like it is to people, and there's telling it like it is to yourself. All of these tips, how do you tell it like it is to yourself? How do you tell it like it is to them? How do you accept it when people tell you like it is? There's so many lessons in this teaching, and I am done early, and I'm not one to go on and on. I'm going to end it if y'all can't, if there's no questions. I'm not going to keep rambling about a subject if I've nailed it. Anybody got any questions? Good job. Thank you, Jeff Bright. Thank you, Belle Krause. Thank you. All right. Tell it like it is, guys. Help people change their lives. Love y'all. We're wrapping up early. Read a book. Make some dials. Call a friend. Counsel, coach. Let's wrap up big time. Can't wait to see these numbers again next week. Who we going to recognize? Issue paid. Submit. Woohoo! Record numbers, guys. Love y'all. Thank y'all. Bye.